We're going to break down some of the big tax stuff for you and make sure that you kind of understand what to expect and what is expected of you as a small business owner and an independent contractor with BronzedBerry. So one of the first things I want to talk to you guys about are the different tax types. Okay, let's push to the side for a minute your specific taxes, okay? Trust me, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But let's just talk about taxes in general and become familiar with some terms that are going to be important to you as a business owner. Your retail sales tax. Okay, this is what you pay when you purchase something. Like a product, you're going to pay sales tax if you go to a store. But did you realize that if you sell a tangible product, so we're not talking about service, but we're talking about an actual retail product like Extend Lotion. If you sell that you are responsible for collecting and paying taxes on that to your state. So we're not talking about federal taxes, we're talking about your local state tax. In order to collect and file retail sales tax, you have to have a federal ID number, have registered your business, not BronzedBerry, because that's our business, but your business name, whatever your business is, registered your name with your state and county, and have applied for a retail sales tax license. And then you have to pay that either monthly or quarterly, and you have to report your sales. So if that sounds like a lot of work and too much work, I totally understand that. And that is one of the beauties of working with us at BronzedBerry, because we do that for you. So there's a couple ways for you to let us do that work for you. Number one, it is so important to have product on hand to go out into your customers' hands. If you guys have not read or are not familiar with the study done called I'm an Artist, Not a Salesperson, please reread that. It's about a 2-page article and it's available on our website. All right, when it comes to your service, there's a couple things you need to understand about the government and how they charge taxes, and then state taxes. The IRS, the federal government, has created something called an excise sales tax, and that is for indoor tanning only. So that is for UV tanning beds. That is not for spray tanning. So you do not fall under the excise sales tax. So you do not have to worry about collecting tax for the federal government for the service that you provide. When it comes to state taxes, there are a few states that are taxing the service industry. So if you're in a state where you pay sales tax when you get your hair cut or get a manicure, chances are you're supposed to be paying taxes for, and you should be collecting taxes for and paying the state for the sales tax on the service. That's something you easily can Google. If your state does want to collect sales tax and you don't want to deal with that, we completely get it. There's a couple things that you can do. The first thing that I would say, and the easiest thing to do, is to work with an existing business, service-based business, so a day spa or salon. If they already are collecting taxes for the services like haircuts and manicures, then it's easy for them to add spray tanning to their list of services. You can work out a deal with them and be a vendor. You go, you set up, you do your appointments. They actually, at their register, are going to charge the customer, collect the payment, and then at your specified time, whatever you've worked out, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, you're going to get a check from them. You're not an employee, so they're not taking out taxes and paying taxes. They're paying you as a vendor. You're an independent contractor, so you would walk away with the entire amount that is owed to you. It is not super difficult to collect and file those kind of taxes, but there are a few things that you have to do ahead of time. So one of that would be to create a business structure. So you're going to have to create an LLC, get an EIN, a tax ID number, and there are more filings and things you would have to do with the state and federal government, as well as get business insurance. So that definitely is absolutely something you should be doing if this is your full-time gig. If this is your side hustle, then, pursue working with an existing salon. If you happen to be in, that 1% of the country that requires taxes on services. You are an independent contractor with BronzedBerry. It's great because you're not an employee. We don't file W-2 taxes on you. We don't know how much money you're making. You don't report it to us. And you are a business owner. You're a business owner, but you have the benefit of using an existing brand. It's really the best of both worlds and the least expensive way to operate a small business. It's not super complicated or difficult to do these taxes, but you are going to need to become familiar with the term independent contractor and understand your tax filing. You're going to file a 1099 miscellaneous. So the form is called a 1099 MISC. And we have a link right to the IRS website. Basically, a 1099 is a document that goes to the IRS that shows additional revenue, additional income that you have earned from somewhere. So it's a way to report additional income that is not coming on a W-2. So it sounds complicated, but it's really easy, simple one-page form to basically say, hey, I made this much money. And they then can, based on your whole tax return, understand if you owe taxes. Having a 1099 does not preclude you from filing taxes with your spouse. You still can file joint taxes, and you're adding this in. It will not overcomplicate things. If you follow our tax tips, our guides that we're going to get into in the next few minutes, if you follow that, then you are going to make it super easy for your CPA or for your tax preparer to whip this out, and it's not going to be expensive. Let's talk about some tax tips. Okay, first of all, basically to determine taxes, the government wants to know how much money did you make and what are your deductions, what are your expenses for your business. They're going to subtract the deductions from your income, and then that amount of money that's left over, that amount is what's determined your taxes are based on. And so it doesn't mean that you're going to get a big tax bill, especially if you file jointly or have a W-2 job. You've already been paying taxes, and so a lot of times they balance each other out, which is really great. Plus, because you're a business owner and you work out of your home, you get huge tax benefits from that. And so I want to make sure that you guys are maximizing that, so that we can get this emailed out to you. It's our cheat sheet tax tip guide. Okay, calculating income. One of the things that people forget is tips. Tips do count. The federal government says they want to know if you're making tip money. So don't forget to include that. Calculating your income can be really easy, especially if you guys start now. So if you haven't been keeping track of everything in 2017, start today. Just make today your day of this is you're getting organized for 2018, and you're gonna knock this out of the park. I use Square when I was seeing clients on a regular basis. I used Square for everything. SquareUp is a credit card processing company. They will send you a free credit card processor that plugs right into your phone, and then there's a free app for your phone as well. What is fantastic about it is that it is not just for credit card transactions. It actually keeps track of your customers. So you can, if your customer pays cash, if they pay credit card, or they pay check, you actually can record it on the app. The app also allows you to create a store. So if you have your single session price, or if you sell bulk packages, or you have a bridal package, or you sell retail product, you can have just like a store, like a little button for each of those, so that you don't have to type all that in. It makes it so easy. And they have a free loyalty program. So if you wanted to offer every 6th tan is free, you can build that into Square, and that way if somebody pays you cash one time, charge another time, check another, it's all connected, and that loyalty program is built, and I guarantee you it's going to save you hours and hours and hours worth of work at the end of the year when you're trying to figure out your income. So that is something that's super quick and free way to keep track of all of your client purchases. So income is super easy, right? Income is any money you've taken in for the services and or product that you've sold. So that should be fairly easy for you to calculate. I want to spend some time on deductions because this is where people and you guys are missing out on free money. All right, so you've got direct and indirect expenses for your business. Direct expenses are things like your cell phone, postage, your supplies, your product purchases. Most of those should be pretty well known to you. Some of your indirect expenses are going to be things like square footage of your house that you've dedicated, your studio space in your home, your internet, your utilities, things like that. A lot of people forget. The cost of doing your taxes, your CPA, those kinds of things. It's not something that was like tangible that you sold, but it is an expense for your business, and therefore you can deduct it. So I want to spend a little time on those deductions, specifically things that you guys may be forgetting about. So obviously your product, your solution, anything that you purchase from BronzedBerry is a deduction. Things that you're purchasing from Amazon, these are deductions. I want to give you a way that you can record these very simply and easily so that at the end of the year you are not overwhelmed. It's very easy. Get a folder and start putting your receipts in the folder. It really can't be easier than that, right? If you want to get even a little more advanced and organized, open a Google spreadsheet for yourself. If you're not using Google Docs and Google for your business, you're missing out. There's a lot of free great stuff from Google for your business. But have a spreadsheet open and then just label it, tanning expenses. And when you get a receipt for something, you simply create a line item that says tanning machine and then the total and maybe the date. That's it. Super easy. And then at the end of the year, you can sum it all out and get your total for those expenses. It really can't be easier than that. And spending 5-10 minutes a month doing this will save you hours and will bring you money. I guarantee you that if you wait till the end of the year, you're gonna miss out on some major deductions. So we've got product, we've got tan solution, any equipment that you purchase. So obviously your machine, your fans, your tents, but don't forget things like supplies, like your client disposables, your face wipes for clients, paper towels for them to wipe the barrier balm off. Any bags you have, any shirts with logos or, any of that kind of marketing material. Hair ties for your clients. Let's talk about mileage. Most of you know that mileage to and from appointments, and that could be to and from the salon that you're working at. Not if you work there as a W-2 employee, but if you're going there for a marketing event, something like that, then you absolutely can write off that mileage. If you're going to a client's home, absolutely to and from, you can write off that mileage. Keeping track of it is not that hard, but it does require calculating things, writing things down. At the beginning of the year, get yourself like a little notebook and write your odometer. Write down your odometer for your car, what your starting point is. December 31st, you'll need to also write down what the end was. In between, you're gonna want to know how many miles you drove for an appointment. So it's easy if you wanna keep this in your car and just be writing from your odometer, or you can just calculate it on Google Maps and write it down, write the date, and then write down how many miles it was. And at the end of the year, you'll add up and you'll say, oh, I went 3,000 miles. But what your accountant is going to ask you is, okay, you went 3,000 miles. What was the beginning odometer reading and the end odometer reading? All accountants and all CPAs are going to ask that. So do yourself a favor and write it down now. And then you'll give them your total amount. And what they're going to figure out is the percentage and what kind of tax credit you get for that mileage. If writing all of that down sounds complicated to you, good thing is you have your phone. Your phone has an app store, and there are plenty of apps that track your mileage. Don't forget, if you go anywhere for business, if you take a trip for training, so if you want to come to next year's annual spray tanning conference in Fredericksburg, your travel accommodations, your hotel, your transportation, and your food, all of that is a write-off. So make sure that you're saving your receipts. Don't forget about continuing education. Like this, your membership is tax deductible. So make sure that you're printing off all your receipts from your back office, from your account in BronzedBerry, and that you're getting the full benefit there. Your cell phone, you guys, you can write off, not the whole cell phone, not every bit, but you guys are using your cell phone for work and you're using your data for work, and a percentage of that is tax deductible. So make sure you're including that as your expenses. Part of your home, if there is square footage that you have dedicated 100% to business, okay? So this can't be your dining room table, your dining room. If your dining room you eat dinner at, then you cannot use that as square footage for your business. It has to be a room, an office, specific square footage that there is no other purpose other than your small business. If you have a room like that, that square footage is tax deductible, and so are all of the utilities for your home as well. So home repairs, water, electric, gas, internet, all of those things are tax deductions as well. You're not going to be able to write off all of it, but based on the square footage, in comparison what percentage that is to your home, you'll be able to write off those other utilities as well. Advertising, of course, if you're doing Facebook ads, anything digital, you're going to get a receipt for that, and that, of course, is tax deductible. But don't forget about all those little things like your business cards, your pamphlets, your banners, anything, your t-shirts. If it has your business name or BronzedBerry Tanning Artist on it and you paid money for it, it's tax deductible. And credit card fees. So credit card fees, this breaks down into two categories. If you're allowing your customers and your clients to pay by credit card, you're paying a fee for that. So any fee that you paid is tax deductible and comes off of that income so that you're not paying taxes on that. The other part of credit card fees would be if you are using a credit card that is strictly for your business, so you purchased something, you purchased your starter kit, or you purchased your supplies on a credit card, if you incur any interest, fees, or expenses on that card, that is also tax deductible. But that does not count if it's your Target card and you're also buying stuff at Target for home. So make sure that you have a card that is specific for your business if you want to be writing off those fees. Okay, I know that was a lot of information, and I wanted to try to be as concise as possible, but give you as much detail as possible too.